All right, so if you are here, that means that you are now, in fact, a member of my Patreon account. It means that you are contributing to all of this, everything you see here, everything to do with my YouTube channel, and everything in between. And can I just say that that means absolutely everything to me. So if you're tuning into this lesson, thank you so, so much. And I'm sure there'll be lots of good things to come and we can go on this journey together. I do have a lot to go through in this particular lesson. So the first thing I want to do, and by the way, I am assuming that if you have been practicing this main exercise, you all know the one, that you are fairly comfortable with that at this stage, playing at relatively high tempos, maybe 95 to 100 beats per minute before you start going and trying to do all of these things, okay? But once you are, then you can move on and have some fun with this. This is pretty cool because I don't have to put any notation on screen here because this is really all about creativity. Once you know the pattern, you can then move it around and try so many different things, and we're going to go into that a little bit today with this particular lesson. The first thing I want to do is talk about general dynamics. And a really cool thing to do as well is to ignore your left foot and not keep a quarter note pulse, okay? Because then you're really understanding where those notes are and you're really feeling it. So I'm going to play around with some dynamics here and give you an example. This is a really cool thing to do and see what you think of this. So you get the general idea, and that's a lot of fun to do that. That's definitely one thing that I would do, is have some fun. And it doesn't matter if you screw up. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be musical, and it just has to, you have to put so much feeling into it, and you can have tons of fun with that. So next thing I want to talk about is using that, okay, almost like something that you keep coming back to. Okay, because then you can just solo around it, have some fun, and you always have that to come back to. So you could play a couple of bars of whatever you want and then come back to that. Mess with the dynamics, bring it up, bring it down, and then play something else, come back to it again. So I'll give you an example of how something like that would sound. So you can see where that really works. And that's really cool because it gives the listener something to grip onto too, and a melody that they can hear over and over again, which sometimes definitely helps, especially when you're soloing. And that should really help with your confidence too, because if you ever feel like you're losing it a little bit, you can come back to that, okay, and then keep spreading away from it and trying different things. So definitely a really cool thing to try and do. Now, also, soloing out each bar and just fooling around with that a little bit. So if we just take the first bar where we're focusing on playing on all those quarter notes, and you can fool around with that a little bit. You'll notice also that I'm not paying too much attention to the sticking pattern, whether I'm playing with my right or playing with my left. I'm just, if I want to just use my right hand, I'll just use my right. And that's a really cool thing to do too. If I want to, it's all about feel. So wherever your hands go, and whatever you feel like doing. Approach with each of those bars. So we'll take where we're take the bar where we're bar 2 where we're focusing on emphasizing the E's within those 16th notes. And so forth. So you do the same with the ands. Have some fun with that. And lastly, we can fool around with all of the ahs. Again, really emphasizing the dynamics, moving up and down, toying around with the speed, and just going off of total feel. Again, there I started doing it, right? And it was habit. It just came because I wanted it to happen. It's tying them all together then and fooling around with them and placing them wherever you want, okay? There is no rules here. It's all about feel, all about flow, and creativity. So I'll give you an example of that. So that's mixing everything up. No rules. This is the fun part. So lots and lots of practice in that. The number 4, so just hands with the left hand on hi-hat. Okay, so again, this was something I jotted down because it felt good, and it's something that's really nice to do. So that would mean now your left hand is going to hold the quarter note pulse, and your right hand is going to play all of the quarter notes, the E's, the ands, and the as. So that's going to sound something like this. And when you do this, it's going to be, if you're comfortable with that main exercise, this is going to be easy for you to do. It's just a matter of, again, messing around with that creativity and having some fun with it. So I'm going to ignore the bass drum pattern here and just take the hands, and you'll hear how this sounds. You can then move that around the toms, not focusing on any particular drum, and having some fun with this. This is pretty cool. Then what happens is, and this is something I was just doing, and I do this a lot, but I often don't think I'm doing it, so it took me just a second to write it down. But your bass drum and ride cymbal are now going to accent the quarter notes, the E's, the ands, and the as. And your left foot and snare are going to hold that quarter note pulse. This one's a lot of fun. Sounds like this. So you speed that up, get comfortable with it, you can get some really cool stuff out of that. Okay, so there is a bunch of ideas that you can mess around with and have unlock that inner creativity within inside of you. And I hope you have tons of fun with that. Thank you so much again for tuning into this lesson and for this bonus lesson. So make no mistake about it, nobody else is seeing this. Only the people who are linked to my Patreon account are seeing this lesson. So I hope that you really enjoyed it. And I will consistently, I promise you, put out content here as well as my YouTube channel. And please understand that everything you contribute to myself and this Patreon account is going to go back into my lessons and what I do here and make things bigger and even better. And I really look forward to the future, and we'll see how things go. So take care, and I'll see you back all here again for another lesson at Whelan Drums.